Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we're going to continue our talk on 这 and 那. 这 and 那. These two characters could be is 这, right? 这 and 那. These two characters can also be used as pronoun to replace some words, even some clauses or some sentences. For example, in the first sentence, 不要再跟他来往. This one is quoted, so it's someone's words. 不要再跟他来往. 不要 means don't. It's a imperative sentence. 不要 don't. 不要再跟他来往，再 means again. 不要再跟他来往，跟他 means with him. 跟他来往 literally means 来往 means have any involvements or have any connections with him. It's like the words that a father said to his daughter. 不要再跟他来往。Don't see him again, right? If you ask me to translate this sentence into English, don't ever see him again. But this 来往 means to have any connections with somebody. 来往，我和他有来往。我和他，我 me and him, or me and she. In Chinese, we don't have this particular order. In English, you have to say he and I. But in Chinese, I and he or I and she. 我和他，我和他有来往。我们有来往。We have connections. Or we see each other very often or frequently. That means 有来往，来往，有来往。不要再跟他来往，不要再跟他来往。Don't stop seeing him, right? Stop seeing him. 兰兰 is a first name of obviously a girl's name. 兰兰，兰兰听了 this了 is a suffix, right? Suffix of this verb 听 means to listen or to hear. 听了 means heard, right? 兰兰 heard the past tense of this verb. 兰兰听了立刻回答. So in Chinese, this sentence is correct or legit, although it has two verbs in this clause, 听 and 回答. 回答 is also a verb. So as we have mentioned before, in Chinese, verbs and verb phrases, they always look the same wherever you put them in any places in one sentence. 听 and 回答. So in Chinese, we don't distinguish which verb is finite verb or which verb is a non-finite verb, or main verb or past participle or verb with any aspect. We don't distinguish that. So this sentence is absolutely correct. 兰兰 heard 立刻 means immediately, at once. 立刻 at once replied 回答. 兰兰 heard it. If you want to translate that into English, you have to say 兰兰 heard it and, right? You have to use a conjunction word to connect two sentences, two independent sentences. 兰兰听了 兰兰 heard it and at once replied 回答 replied. 那办不到 那办不到，那 right? 那 is a pronoun to replace this sentence. 不要再跟他来往，那办不到。That I cannot do, right? In English, it's the same. That I cannot do. 办不到 means no way. No way. I can't do that. 我办不到。I can't do that. 那办不到 that I cannot do. So this 那 is a pronoun to replace this sentence. As it is in the second sentence, 孩子的父亲说，孩子 the kid, right? 孩子 kid. 孩子的父亲 the kid's father said 说。So you may notice this 说 is to say, right? To say or to ask or to state or to claim. But in Chinese, we don't have an obvious inflection of this verb, of any verb, actually. We don't have an obvious inflection as it is in English. So you have to be sensitive. Like in this sentence, 孩子的父亲说, you have to know that this to say is in its past tense in this sentence. You have to translate that into English as the kid's father said, right? Said 说，现在能吃饱饭。现在 means now, nowadays, at present, these days, something like that. 现在能吃饱饭，能 means can. Now we can, right? In Chinese, language is very much dependent on its context. So frequently we don't say who, we don't say the subject because the speaker knows the subject and the listeners knows the subject. So in Chinese, you don't have to mention the subject unless you have to mention, right? Unless you may refer to different persons. But in this sentence, obviously, the kid's father obviously refers to he himself, right? Or his family. So 现在能吃饱饭，吃饱饭，吃饭 we know it's to eat. 吃饭 right? 吃饭，吃饱饭，吃饱饭 it means to eat very good or to fill up your belly. Because in China, I have this experience. Once I have a conversation, I talked to a white woman, my friend, who was living in Canada. She asked me about whether it is true that in China there's a period of time when Chinese people they're starving because she told me when she was young in school they have a debate on China's situation or history during a certain kind of period. She asked me if that was true. I told her that is the case because during 1959 and 1962 in China during those 3 years or 3 to 5 years, we call it the hard times. The hard time or the struggling times, the times to struggle, literally struggle. During that 3 to 5 years, under Chairman Mao's regime, under his leadership, China, maybe 30 to 50 million people, 30 to 50 millions people. I'm not making this up. At least 30 million people died because they don't have anything to eat. During those times, Chinese peasants, they eat anything they can see. They even eat their children. So it's very hard for the Westerners to imagine what have happened under the CCP's leadership. So we even have this habit to this day that my mother uh, she has this habit eating. She eats very fast. She eats very fast, and so is my other relatives. They eat very fast, and we even have this I don't know how to say idioms or sayings when children are eating at the table. We say 快点吃, eat fast. Literally, it means eat fast. Eat fast. 快点吃,快吃,快 is fast, 吃 to eat. Eat fast. Because we have those hunger genes or hunger memories buried in our mind. So I believe the context of this sentence is that the kid's father, because the sentence is from the novel, the kid's father maybe came from that period of time, the Great Hunger period. And he said that nowadays we can fill our belly, 吃饱饭, and 还有钱挣, even we can make money, 有钱挣. These are 吃饱饭 and 有钱挣. These are very native native spoken Chinese. 还有钱挣, have money to earn. 挣 means to earn money, earn your living, 挣钱. 挣钱. If you put this 挣 in front of 钱, which is money, that means as a verb phrase, 挣钱 to make money. 有钱挣 means there are money for you to make, right? 有钱挣. 现在能吃饱饭，还有钱挣. Nowadays we can fill our belly and we have money to make. 这 this one, this pronoun 这 is to replace, right? Replace these two clauses. 这 it means 吃饱饭 and 有钱挣. 这在过去是想也不敢想的。这在过去，过去 means the past. This sentence means this or these. 过去 in the past are something we cannot or we dare not even to imagine. 想也不敢想的 means 想 means to imagine or to think about, to even think about, to fill our belly or to have money to make. Because in Chairman Mao's under Chairman Mao's leadership, you are not allowed to sell. Literally, you are not allowed to sell anything because Chairman Mao believes selling is represents that you are the extreme right. You are on the extreme right, and you are the bad guys. Chairman Mao hates capitalism, so he believes he's a moron. He believes that selling is sin. So he didn't allow anyone in China to sell something. If you dare to sell something in China during that period of time before 1980s, you are doomed. Literally, you are doomed. You will be put into prison immediately and then executed. They will execute you, shoot you. That is the China under Chairman Mao's regime. So there are still nowadays there's still many Western people worship Chairman Mao. They speak good of him. That's ridiculous. That's very hard. That's very hard to imagine. 这在过去是想也不敢想的。This 这 is a pronoun to replace 吃饱饭 and 有钱挣。All right, and the third sentence, we will lower this camera. All right, the third and the fourth sentences, 这 and 那 right? 那 it can be used to confirm the information that appeared in the sentence. Like the third one, 这三张桌子都是新的。这三张is a quantifier to say that tables 桌子 tables we have 3 tables. 三 is 3. 三张 is a quantifier to modify or to describe how many tables we have. 这三张桌子 these 3 tables. So 这 plus quantifier plus noun 桌子 is noun table. 都是 are 是 is are the be verb. Are all 都 is all new. 新的 means new is an adjective. 这三张桌子都是新的。These 3 tables are all new. 这三张桌子 so 这 plus quantifier plus noun, right, is to confirm the information. And so is in the fourth sentence, 那几条意见那 plus quantifier plus noun. 几条 means several. 意见 is suggestions. Those several suggestions. 那几条意见提得好 means are very good. 好 good. 提得好提 means 提的 is a verb of the main verb of this sentence. It means the raising of those several suggestions is very good. If you translate the sentence into English, you have to translate these main verbs as the subject of another sentence. The raising or the proposing, the proposing of those several suggestions are is the main verb in the English sentence. Are very good. 我完全接受 I totally 完全 totally is the adverb. 完全接受 is to accept. I totally or I absolutely accept. 接受我接受 I accept or I agree. So in this video we have talked about 这 and 那 as pronoun to replace sentences, right? To replace sentences or clauses, and 这 and 那 plus quantifier 三张几条 and noun 桌子 and 意见 are all nouns to confirm the information that appeared in the sentence. All right, I hope you have learned something, and bear in mind this is not an teaching video that only teach you Chinese. What I want to do is to make you understand what kind of people speak the language, Chinese language. And I want to tell you or discuss with you some history of China. And my idea is to let you understand why the tragedies always happen in China, why there is a dictator now in China. So you may notice or you may be aware of the situation happening in China, and then you'll be able to stop the similar situations happen in your country, right? Because in China, those situations are very extreme or very ferocious, very tragedy situations. Okay, I hope you have learned something at least. So see you next time.